Jeff Passan thinks it could make a lot of sense, writing, if Boston continues this run, it goes into July in full command of a playoff spot, the Red Sox absolutely should be placing a call to the Mets to gauge the possibility of getting Alonso.
Why do you do this? Like, I listened to you on the way in, and it's just like you're not run by humans. So why, you're having humans from outside the market entertain the idea of them being in on it, and that they should go out and spend, where you've already said it too. Like, they're not doing it.
He writes that even though first baseman Tristan Casas is expected back in early July, the Red Sox have gotten a sub-300 weighted on-base average
Whatever that means.
from the DH position, which, regardless of the size of Masataka Yoshida's contract, it's worth addressing with upgrades like the one that Alonso would provide. Okay. Well, that's great. But they're also in the race a little bit in New York. They're not dead. The Mets are not dead. And so I can't see a team unloading, especially that team, right? Money, no object to that team. And the expectations are sky high right now in New York, given the way they've spent the last couple of years. I just can't really see them parting with a guy for what purpose? What are they going to get back in return that the Red Sox are going to be giving up in that potential deal to really have them interested? I don't know. I don't see it. I don't know why it would make sense for the Mets. I do see why it would make sense for the Red Sox to upgrade their lineup and upgrade at the DH spot. But again, Mets are a game and a half out of a wild card. Why are they doing that deal?
They're not.
And it's also not what I would target.
And based on how they
the Red
spent over
Sox.
the years too, like, you're not going to give up a good player like that. You know, the Mets have shown, like, hey, we're kind of in this thing. Like, we spend here. We have to spend to be in a competitive market in New York when you're going up against, like, the Yankees. And I know it's different. But Mets ownership spends. They're in it to spend.
The team's
They're not in it to sell.
but
What's that? The team stinks, but at least they spend. I mean, look at San Diego. That team spends. There's teams that spend.
would you rather
They're
have
gonna be
what
in
we
it.
have in Boston right now or what the Mets are doing?
I would rather
Spending
probably
like
what-
crazy, but
what
floating
the Mets
around
are.
500.
What the Mets are.
I would rather be the Mets.
Yeah.
Because that can come together. I mean, that can
That
get
can catch
straightened
fire.
out. If you have talent and you have money that gets spent that is not returning what you want, that's okay. I mean, that could actually get straightened out. The Red Sox have been there. The Red Sox
You've
have
been
been
that
that
team.
team
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
It didn't kill them. They kept coming out of it. They kept finding ways back. They
Yeah.
kept finding ways to win. They had the disaster of all kinds of epic free agent disasters. You want to go Crawford. You want to go Panda. You want to go Adrian Gonzalez. Big, massive contracts that they've signed and overspent on. And it didn't hold them back. It didn't destroy their franchise. It didn't do any of that. So I'd rather be the Mets. I'd rather be the Mets a game and a half out, and I'd rather have an owner that's willing to spend $330 million on a payroll. That's what I would rather have.
That'd be nice.
It would be. And also really care about winning. And I think we know that about Steve Cohen, right? He's a guy who really is motivated to try and build a winner. He desperately wants to win, which is the place that John Henry, I think, was in 2002. They're in different places. Maybe 20 years from now, you look at Steve Cohen and say the guy doesn't care. He doesn't want to win, right? He doesn't care about winning anymore. It's not his thing anymore. He's already done it. Now it's just another asset in a portfolio. I do wonder if John Henry is not motivated to win anymore, not simply because of the asset or not simply because they've done it, but because maybe they've done it and nobody cares that he was the guy who was able to get it done.
That's a great point. Like,
nobody wants to give that guy credit. He's had an odd relationship with the fan base his entire time here. It's not a guy that people are excited to see or cheer for or give credit to. Part of it is the nature of that fan base, the nature of being a Red Sox fan, and kind of the glasses half empty attitude of Red Sox fans.
This guy's giving you 4 world championships. Like, he walks in his office and there's the 4 trophies there. Like, we've done this in the last 20 years. And here I am, and I see the numbers, and I see your little channel market research surveys, and I'm the most unlike person in town. Why should I want to continue to spend here? I've got my hardware. My teams have had their hardware. We've made our money here. Let's just float this. You're part of a pie. You're part of a portfolio now.
It's really remarkable because he turned around Liverpool, correct? I mean,
Oh my God!
and
Look how he got roasted there.
feel
too.
free to correct me if I'm wrong because I don't follow that as closely.
Right.
But he's done good things with Liverpool.
Yep.
I know that their fans are always pissed off, very similar to Red Sox fans in that regard, and they don't like him there either.
He looked happier with the trophy on the plane in that front seat with his wife when they took that Liverpool, when they took the whatever cup that is they won. And he looked more ecstatic than he ever has being around the World Series.
Mr. Henry.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they hate him
but
there.
they like that over there. That's
They-
important.
He's not well liked here. He's not liked there. I just wonder if he keeps looking for that team and that fan base that's actually going to celebrate him because so far he hasn't found it.
08717223344.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like you played that clip from Rosenthal. Like, they have a team that doesn't deserve their owner. The team is better than what they should be, and the owner doesn't deserve them. Like, that's staggering. That's coming from a national guy. That's coming from a guy that's been around the game, and it's great. All these people, normal human being that's been around baseball would say, "This is the time for them to add." They've shown you, okay, now's the time to add. It's different. And T-Bone made the point. You know, it's not the offseason. This isn't like you're going out recruiting a free agent. You're trying to bring him in and make your team better. Now you can see how you can actually tweak your team because you actually have, 3 months of data, if you want to talk data, on the non-human element of it. That's the problem. You don't have humans running you. You got robots. You know what robots are going to do? They're going to look at the data. Look at the percentages we went over yesterday to make the playoffs. A month ago, June 10th, Beetle read the number. So what? 13% chance. Now you're up to 43. Like you jumped 30 points. What data doesn't show you that you should go in there? What data you look at with that spike and say, yeah, we're going to pull back?
Their data right now would tell them that there's a better chance of them not making the playoffs than making it. And so their question would be, is it worth it to invest the future? Because they look at every prospect as being this wonderful, great future. Is it worth investing that to try and become a playoff team as opposed to not being a playoff team and then losing 2 games in the wild card round and being out? Is that worth it? And I think most fans would tell you, of course it's worth it. Of course it's worth it to try and be a playoff team as opposed to not being a playoff team. Are you nuts? And they don't see it that way. They would rather continue to keep the chips, invest in their future, as they like to say, and see where it goes in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, because how I see it is, if you make a playoff push, you draw eyes to your team, but they don't see it that way.
But also, it's the point of existing.
They don't care
isn't
about
it?
drawing eyes to the team on the margin.
Isn't the point of existing in sports to compete and be the most competitive you can be? Isn't that why we're into this? Isn't that why we like this?
Well, it's
It is until you win
That's
for
why
it.
we're here.
It is until
guys.
you win for it.
That's why we watch.
Well, then you win for it, you
the
become
competition.
complacent. Yeah.
And the strive to win. That's why we're into this. And I don't think they look at it like that anymore.
They've won their 4. 4-20. It's pretty good odds. It's pretty good data.
That's an investment now.
Well,
And-
because
and
in
there are-
business, if you can yield the same result with spending less money, that's business, right?
Yeah, and there are debates though. I mean, because there are times where you're like, okay, do you really think this team is worth investing in, right? I mean, do you really want to give up something that's significant related to your future, right? There are those debates.
Well, that's like your problem.
It's like the Patriots last year. I'm like, listen, this team is not a playoff team, so winning 6 games versus 4 games to me, that doesn't make a difference. Like this is a different conversation. This is about playoff team, not a playoff team,
Right.
winning a playoff round, not winning a playoff round. Those are things worth having the additions for.
You're actually lucky to have a sport to where you could actually add it and evaluate it and have that trade deadlines fall at the perfect spot to ramp up for August and September.
Trying to win 2 more regular season games in a season that will be forgotten by all, to me, is not worth it. Like last year, lose in Denver, damn it. Because this season, you're not going to want to remember a single thing about it. You're going to want to delete this thing from the memory banks and move on. This is a lost cause and a lost year. The Red Sox are not that. This is not that situation. This is, you can compete. You've been competitive. Shouldn't you want to be more competitive?
See, and the sad part is, from the Patriots' perspective, they got the trophy room. They got a hell of a trophy room built right outside the owner's office. And every pregame, they got a party there. And they bring all their big high rollers, clients in. And you go and you get to stand there and take pictures with the old trophies. The problem with the Red Sox is, like, those trophies could still be more current. You could still get another one. If you get in, you get hot, you become competitive. And you got a shot because you're in a series. It's not single elimination. Get into the playoffs. Weird things happen in baseball. Football, it's a little more consistent. Either you're good or you're not good. How many times are you going to go take pictures with these old trophies? And it keeps getting further and further and further in the past. If you're the Red Sox, you don't want to become that right now.
Well, the Red Sox and Patriots both last one in the same year, right? 2018 season?
2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one's further away, does it seem?
The
You know what I mean?
Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah, their next one, the Patriots' next trophy, is
that's
a long ways
that's
off.
what the Red Sox should realize.
could get
like,
back in quicker.
there. That
We've
should
seen it
be
before.
how they
Yeah.
think.
They've got
And
the
it's
ability
not.
to get right back in it with their resources. Can't do that in football. Your resources are not as
You either got a good team, bad team, and you draft
capable
poorly.
of fixing your problems
It's-
quickly.
It's more cyclical in football. Like, you got to go through the doldrums when you're bad. Then you become good, and you got a good core. Right now, you don't have a good core. You have no clue what your core is. At least at the Red Sox, you think you might have a decent core. Like, you get Alonso, and then you get freaking Casas back. Like, look at your lineup then. But no, we'll look at the data.
I think the Alonso thing is a
It's not
silly
happening. It's
idea.
ridiculous.
I gotta disagree with Jeff Passan on that one. Unless the Mets fall apart this month, then it could be a different conversation, of course. But right now, I don't know about that. If you like that clip, check out more videos from Zolak and Bertrand here. For more Red Sox analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.